No, I mean my balls.
Suck my balls.
Check my badge.
Suck my
Come
balls.
on! What's up? We're back for another edition of SMB.
For another edition of SMB, baby.
A South Park review.
We're back!
We're back.
Come on. Suck my balls.
Check my balls. Well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we are back for another edition of SMB, a South Park review, of course. I'm your host in the heat and it can't be beat. I'm your guy who's high, where the air is dry. Yeah, boy. M to the S to that G. You can follow us by going to Linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. Of course, yeah. I am not alone. I am joined by the S to the C. Double OP. The Scoop. The Tamba. The Tamba. Scoop. Jackson.
Come on. Tugboating along.
Coming live from the underground bunker of Scoop Jackson's house. We are.
Shit, we're live.
We're live. Well, I guess we're not live, but we're coming from the bunker of your house. Of the Scoopster, of the depths of Scoop's heart, we are here for another audition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is SMB number 218. That's right, 218. We are, 219, 220, 221, and 222. Okay, so we're a month away after we record this podcast, or when this comes out. 4 weeks. We got 5 weeks, people. Send us your congratulatory, congratulations. Because when we get to 222, we're doing another celebration. We want to hear from you. So send in your congratulations on making it to the 222nd podcast. We didn't celebrate at 100. We did at 111. And we didn't really celebrate at 200. We're going 222. So step on by. Tell us, send an email, linktr.ee/SouthParkPod, all our landing pages if you want to just go on social media. Send a 30-second to 60-second clip, and we'll play it right here on the show. Speaking of playing it on the show and having multiple different personalities, that's our episode today. It's about Butters, who has multiple personalities. Before we get into it, though, of course.
To be speaking to Inspector Butters.
Inspector Butters. Before we get into it, though, we got, of course, give our shout out to the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. He is the doctor of thugonomics, punkonomics, polyphonics, and of course, Scubanomics. That's right. He is a trivia god. Joe Vernola. I actually got an update here from Mr. V.
Yep.
From the Dirty V himself, Mr. Vernola. He told me the other day, he said, just got done with emailing the lawyer. This is on Tuesday of last week. Appointment on the 19th of March and another shot or surgery on April the 4th. Shout out to you, Joe. So Joe is still going through it. For those who don't know, Joe had a throat surgery. And right now, he may potentially be seeking legal counsel as his throat has not fully healed. As well as he needs it to work, as one of Joe's full-time duties in his job is a ring announcer. So that is how he makes some of his money. So he is seeking information. I am not saying he is seeking any arbitration at this time. I just said he's seeking legal counsel. Because I don't know what Joe's stuff goes on in his legal stuff. But yes, he's working on it. Hopefully, we'll see him on down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Dane Becker. Wherever you are, wherever you're at, whatever hand you're holding today, Dane, we say hello to you. And we miss
you. We need to play these intros for ourselves in 8 weeks.
Good old Danifer. We'll miss you, buddy. City Sushi is the 6th episode of season 15 and the 215th overall episode of South Park, as it originally aired on June 1st, 2011. Think about that. We got episodes in the middle of summer back in the day. Those were the days. Those were the days.
Yeah, new shit during the summer was always like, where it was just like, didn't have to feel like everything was just going to be alright reruns until the fall.
Right? So Butters in this episode is diagnosed with multiple personality disorder. People think he has a problem. So here's how this episode starts out. Butters, while distributing flyers for a newly opened City Sushi restaurant, gives a flyer to Mr. Tulong Kim, the owner of the Chinese restaurant of City Wok. Bewildered at the prospect of a Japanese restaurant next to his, he becomes angered. So he quickly enters the Japanese City Sushi establishment and starts a fight with the owner named Junichi Takayama. Butters is then sent home by the police for indirectly starting an Asian turf war. And it's at this point his parents reveal that Butters has problems. He's recommended to take him to a psychiatrist, a therapist, if you will, and he is misdiagnosed with multiple personality disorder by Dr. Janice. As we're going to find out later, that really Dr. Janice is the one with multiple personality disorders.
Hello, sir. Postman Butters with a special delivery for you.
What's this?
An all-new sushi
Postman
restaurant.
Butters.
Try their lunch specials.
Thanks.
You can count on Postman Butters. Special delivery, sir. Here you are, sir. Brand new sushi restaurant in town. A flyer for you from Postman Butters.
Welcome to City Wok. Can I take an order, please?
Hello, sir. Postman Butters here with a special delivery for you.
What are you talking about?
It's at this point here, Butters is going to give this flyer, and it's going to create an Asian turf war, as I mentioned.
It's a coupon for a brand new Asian restaurant that just opened up in town.
A what? Let me see that. Oh, no, a sushi place. How come every time a hard-working Chinese man opens a business, some smelly Japanese dog has to come and try and invade him?
The views expressed by South Park
Damn.
are not of Matthew Schaefer and Scoop Jackson. We just wanted to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm sorry. I'd prefer sushi, Japanese food, over Chinese food, personally. That's me.
There's things that I like about both.
I mean, I like Chinese food. I'm not saying. But, I mean, if you gave me the choice and you said, hey, you can only have one thing for the rest of your life when it comes from an Asian culture between Chinese food and Japanese food, I would go with the sushi. So I would say Japanese. I could go without Chinese food. I can't go without sushi. I love sushi. Like the East Coast people are going to love me when I move there. And we're like, yo, bro, let me get some fish. Let me get some fresh fish out of these Atlantic waters, dude. Come on. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I have to concur with Japanese food. Sushi is just, yeah.
It's so good. It's like, it's brain food. It makes you feel good. Like, there's not a lot of foods out there that, like, when you get done eating, you feel, man, like, I feel good from eating. I mean, yeah, you get that from those healthy foods, and you get it from a healthy drink or something like that. And maybe you get it from a good, healthy sandwich or something like that with the fresh veggies and everything, for sure. But, you know, like, when it comes to, like, cuisine-style food from a different culture, like, when you eat sushi, you feel good afterwards, you know? And you can eat, you feel like you can eat more. Even though you're stuffed, you feel like you can eat more. That's how good it is. Anywho, back to Butters now.
I don't know. I'm just being paid to hand out flyers.
Where is this Japanese toilet bowl? How far from my City Wok?
Japanese toilet
Sushi
bowl.
restaurant? It's right over there.
It's right over there. It's next door.
What the fuck? Welcome to a City Sushi. Can I take an order, please? What's the big idea of putting your City Sushi right next to my City Wok? I'm sorry, I do not understand your accent.
So now they go back and forth on both being able to not understand each other because they're making fun of each other's accent.
You want a shitty tuna roll? No, I don't want shitty tuna roll. I want you to go find another shitty town and open your shitty sushi place. Why don't you please
Now, do you think?
speak English? Maybe I can understand you.
I mean, obviously, in like real life, a Japanese guy would be able to tell that he's a white guy pretending to be Japanese.
I don't
right?
know. You're spoiling, but I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if he would be able to tell. Like, especially if this guy's been doing it for so long, right? And like,
Fuck, okay.
you know what I mean. And also, you have to take into consideration, not all Chinese people are going to be exactly of the complexion of more of a yellow shade. There could be Chinese people that are more, Caucasian white, right? If you will. I mean, we don't live in China. So, I mean, you have more world experience than I do. Did you ever go to China in the Air Force?
Negative, sir.
No. So I don't know. I mean, and I'm sure Joe was in the Navy, so he probably never went. But maybe he would know. Maybe he would know.
If I was allowed to be there.
Maybe he was
That'd
over.
be cool.
Maybe he visited in the Navy over in the sea area over there or something like that. Maybe he would have that information. But, from
the Navy.
I would just have to assume that, like any race, right, you can be considered part of that race, but not necessarily be the direct, quote unquote, stereotypical look, right? I mean, there's individuals who are black but aren't necessarily darker skinned. There's individuals who are Hispanic but don't necessarily look all brown. You know what I mean? Same thing with Italians, with us as well, I mean, some of us just look like regular white people, so. Back into City Sushi here.
I am speaking English. Why don't you speak a fucking English? You sober-eating fuck. Get out or I call police. Come on, kid. You don't want to eat this shitty sushi. It give you worms. Better than a shitty Kung Pao chicken made from a cat.
Oh, snap.
Damn.
And now Butters here at his house.
Hello? Sir, does this mailman belong to you? That's my son. Is there a problem, officer? There's been an Asian turf war, sir, and your son appears to have caused it. What? An Asian turf war? Butters!
That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous that the cops blame Butters for this. All he was doing was passing out flyers. Oh, poor Butters. That's not his fault. Poor little Butters. All right, so as we said...
Poor little buds.
Yeah, after this, Butters decides, after this, his parents take him to a therapy. And he's going to meet Dr. Janice, who's going to get to know Butters. It's the Center for Criminally Insane Children is the place he's taking Butters.
Well, Dr. Janice, I'm afraid I have some bad news. Your son is suffering from multiple personality disorder. There are several distinct personalities going on in there. One is named Postman Butters.
The other one
Yet another is
Fireman
Butters.
Butters.
And then there's
Truck driver.
Inspector Butters
Inspector's
and
Butters.
Professor
And
Chaos.
Professor Chaos.
Oh my god!
From what I gather, he seems to
I like
mostly
this one.
jump in and out of personalities when he's outside playing. Sometimes he's a cowboy,
Yes,
and other times
he's
he's
an
an
Indian.
Indian. And the two seem to be at
Constant
constant
odds.
odds.
Oh, poor Butters!
Jeez.
Doctor, what can we do? Should we ground him? No, I don't
Yes.
think grounding him would do much good at this point. Your son needs now is lots of tender, loving medication.
Medication.
Heavy medication.
Medication.
But
They give you the swerve.
that sounds pretty accurate, though, right?
Yeah, they give you the swerve, right? They make you think he's going to say tender, loving care, which is really what Butters does need, but no, tender, loving medication. Here's Butters outside. This is funny. He's outside, and his parents kind of freak out, thinking that there's something wrong with him, when really there is nothing wrong. He's just playing outside. His parents are like, "Come back to us. He's back. He's back, everyone."
Fuck.
First his mom is like, "He's outside. He's doing it again." All right, here we go.
Steven, come quick! It's Butters! Look!
He's playing.
Honk, honk! Breaker 19, it's clean clear out to Flagtown. Looks like we got ourselves a convoy! Honk, honk! Now he thinks he's a truck driver!
In a convoy.
Medication isn't working.
Big Rig Butters.
Get cool, good buddy. You got a smoky on your tail, but Big Rig Butters is here to help.
Big Rig Butters.
Butters! Butters!
Hey,
Hey,
Dad.
Dad.
You're back.
He's back.
You're back. He's back. I love you, son.
I love you too, Dad.
You're going to be okay, Butters. Do you hear me? You are going to be okay.
Jeez.
He just shakes the shit out of him there at the end. You're gonna be
okay.
Yeah, he a little extreme there. They don't understand. Butters has just got an active imagination, right? In this case, he just thought he was big rig Butters, being a truck driver. Didn't think anything of it.
Always getting in trouble for just being Butters.
For just being him, his old little butter self, little butterball self. Oh, poor little Butters. All right, so after that,
Just being Butters.
while this is occurring now, as you saw, Luke Kim was pissed off about sushi. And now he gets even more pissed off that the news and everyone in South Park is lumping the Chinese and Japanese together and confusing the two. So he proceeds to enact a plan to get rid of Takayama by faking a truce and then publicly humiliate him at the school by depicting old stock photos of atrocities Japan committed against the Chinese during the World War.
Jeez.
He later will make an apology while building a tower of peace between the two restaurants. However, this is a facade as his intention to murder Takayama and make it look like a suicide, as it would not arouse suspicion due to the stereotype that many Japanese people kill themselves over shame. And while this is going on, Butters is going to be investigating Dr. Janice at his house after one of his personas learns that Mr. Luke Kim is actually another persona of Dr. Janice. Bum, bum, bum. All right, let's jump into some clips here.
You get out. I told you not to come in here. Okay, well, just hold a minute. I come in a piece. I don't believe you. Come on, Rick. All this fighting is just so silly, you know? Chinese and the Japanese been fighting for so long. It's ridiculous. What we need is to have a tweet.
A tweety.
What is a tweety? No, we need a tweety. A tweety? No, not a tweety.
A tweety.
Oh, you mean a tweety? What the fuck is a tweety? No, a tweety. A tweety? Right.
Anyway, so
Right.
they continue their conversation. All right, let's go ahead now and we'll jump into the school, as I mentioned, as they're going to Asian Awareness Day.
A special assembly. We're going to learn about
Asian
the diversity of Asian people. Please welcome Mr. Luke Kim and Mr. Junichi Takayama.
Shake that.
Oh, crap. I didn't realize there was going to be copyright music there. Here we go.
Mr. Takayama, did you know that China and Japan are actually a different country? Oh, really? Hey, that's right. If you look at map, you can see. This whole thing is China, and Japan is this little bitty country over here. And that's why the Japanese always try and take over China. What? The Japanese rape and kill people in that. The only thing Japanese love more than killing people is killing themselves. Suicide rate in Japan sky high. Fuck you. Oh no, I'm a Japanese and I had a bad day. I think I'm gonna kill myself.
Okay, so while this is going on, Butters is kind of coming to some weird conclusions. And what happens is he's got multiple personalities, right? So the doctor, he goes and sees Dr. Janice, suggests that he record himself, right, doing different things so that way they can look back at the footage and see what happens maybe when he, quote-unquote, changes into his personality. Well, Butters seems to be having this problem where he's apparently wetting the bed but doesn't remember that he's wetting the bed. So he records himself while he's sleeping, and in the middle of the night, Dr. Janice comes in and, he pees on him and then he slaps him. Scoop, you're frozen. Oh, okay, no, you weren't. You were looking dead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I brought up the suicide rate in Japan isn't even in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, top 9 countries.
Not now.
That's
Were they
gotten-
back in 2011 though? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's over.
But I mean, it's pretty bad in China. It's the 5th leading cause of death.
Wow, that is a lot actually.
Yeah, sorry. It's nothing to
you're
laugh
good.
at.
You're good. No, it's not. It's definitely nothing to laugh at. But dang.
Yeah, just how wrong he was just there. That's crazy.
Oh, wow. There you go. But maybe it was in 2011. I don't know. We'd have to dig.
Oh, yeah,
further.
that's right. Never mind.
Maybe it was back in 2011. We'd have to dig further into the statistics back then and compare different data analysis that were compiled by different news report agencies or whatever.
I mean, if it's on the web, we can find it, you know?
If it's on the
Never
web.
goes away.
If it's real, it's real.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Well, let's
Anyway.
go ahead and we'll jump now to the next scene. We'll start with Butters going to Dr. Janice here, his first follow-up meeting after he gets diagnosed with multiple personality disorders.
Butters, when you were playing in the yard yesterday, do you remember becoming someone named
Big Rig Butters?
Big Rig Butters?
Sure.
What makes Big Rig Butters come out? Did somebody hurt him? Did he do something bad he can't forgive himself for?
No, he's pretty much just a truck driver.
You don't know, but maybe somebody else in there does. Do you think it would be possible for me to speak with Inspector Butters?
Sure.
I'm now speaking to the person known as Inspector Butters.
Inspector Butters is on the case. This is fun.
Inspector Butters, what do you want?
To solve mysteries.
And is there someone else living with you? Someone named Professor Chaos?
Oh, yes, sir. He's the bringer of destruction and evil.
He's a bad man. He doesn't like Butters, does he? Does Professor Chaos want to murder Butters?
What? Why would I do
Why
that?
would I do that?
Who am I speaking to now?
Me, Butters.
Ah, Butters, you're
I
back.
like how he
boy.
said, why would I do that?
Sir, I'm confused.
I know you
You
are.
know what I mean?
This is going to sound scary, pal, but
Yeah.
you have people living inside your head. And some of them want to murder you.
Some of them want to murder you.
He's a bad man, huh? He wants to murder you, Butters. What? Why would I want to do that? Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's Butters now sleeping. As he's going to explain, Dr. Janice tells him to record.
This is Butters. It's Wednesday night at 9 p.m. From what I understand, there are people living inside my head, and they want to kill me. It must be true, because now every night I wet the bed. So tonight, I'm going to leave the camera on to see what exactly I become while I am
Good
sleeping.
night, Butters.
Oh man, this is freaky. Like that movie Paranormal. Oh, good night for
Good night,
now.
Butters.
Good night,
Good night,
Butters.
Butters.
Good night. I guess I'm gonna fast forward.
We go fast forward.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
So he's sleeping, he's fast forwarding through here, and then all of a sudden he stops it. His door opens, and who walks in? But it's Dr. Janice?
What is happening
Dr.
right now with
Janice?
Dr. Janice?
He walks in, and he stands over him for what appears to be a couple hours, and then eventually
3.5.
he pisses on him.
Yo, in his mouth.
And then he slaps the shit out of him. Wait,
Beat the shit out that food.
I wet the bed again.
and then Butters yells, "Mom, Dad, I did it again. I wet the bed." And then this, of course, resolves now.
Oh, sweet jumping Jesus.
Poor Butters right now, man. That
Poor little Butters. So that's what's going on right now with the Butters, the B-Man, if you will, with B butts here. So after, of course, you saw Mr. Takayama and gets yelled at in front of and made fun of by Mr. Luke Kim at the assembly, we go back now to the doctor's office the next day, and Butters, of course, is going to bring the evidence. Like, dude, you broke into my house and you pissed on my face. I think he straight up says that too here in the scene.
You pissed on my face.
Oh, hello, Butters. I wasn't expecting you until 5:30.
Yeah, Dr. Janice, I wanted to give you something. You remember how you told me if I got myself on video it might help me with my problem?
Yes, did you catch something?
Well, yeah, I saw you pissing in my face.
Oh, so you're on to me, huh, you little shit?
Huh?
Oh, so you're on to
Inspector
me.
Butters figured out I set him up?
Well, no, I just thought it was one of your other personalities trying to get
Oh,
in.
come on. You think multiple personality disorder is real? I've been using that to scam this town for 7 years. Now I gotta get out of here, thanks to you. But I'm getting one last heist before I go, and you're gonna help me.
So now he kidnaps Butters and he takes Butters with him to a jewelry store to help him break in. Now, this at the time, this actually is a Dr. Janice's multiple personality disorder. He's actually having a breakdown right now.
Get in there, move it, asshole!
This is illegal. We could get arrested. Oh, Jesus.
I guess this is where he starts his psychotic.
They're all idiots.
Right.
The vault, get to the vault. Come on,
Punches
go,
him.
move it. Get this on and get in that vault. That's where the real goods are.
Gives him a blowtorch.
Torch that door, do you hear me? I'll kill your parents. I'll kill your friends. I said get that fucking door open.
I'm trying, sir.
And then all of a sudden he snaps out of it, his own personality.
Butters, what are you doing? What is that, a blowtorch? Put that down. You're having another episode.
What?
Butters. Your name is Butters. Try and remember.
But you said to...
Poor
but I-
Butters.
You told me to...
Oh boy, you've really done it this time. I know it's not your
How
fault.
funny would it be if
Sorry.
the lock fell
I
out?
have to alert the authorities, pal.
So basically, yeah, exactly what you garnered from that. This guy here at Delia's Jewelers, Butters, apparently he's blaming the multiple personality breakdown on Butters. But really, it was this guy.
What a piece of shit.
And he's got the whole town convinced here.
You have to try and understand that he can't help what he's doing, officer. He probably has no memory of it at all. Well, at least everything is accounted for. Thank God you came when you did, Dr. Janice. Breaking into a store, Butters? What are you? Well, I suppose there's no need for jail, Mr. and Mrs. Stotch, so long as you ground your son.
What?
Oh, we'll ground the
well,
shit out of him,
okay.
Detective. Thank you so much.
There's probably no need for anything as long as you ground your son, sir. Oh, we'll ground the shit out of him. Okay, so follow.
Ground him to next Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna ground him till next Thursday. So it's at this point now, Butters, after investigating, he talks to one of the other personalities. He finds out that Dr. Janice's, one of his personalities is actually Mr. Liu Kim. So Butters contacts the police, and as they arrive, Liu Kim is then attempting to push Mr. Takayama off the Tower of Peace. And as this is going on, he visibly changes personalities in plain sight right before the town. Out of shame for being fooled into easily thinking a white person was actually Asian, Mr. Takayama ironically unalives himself by jumping over the edge of the tower and landing on the City Sushi building. While he yells, he's also saying, "No, this is a stereotype." Yeah, exactly. And he dies. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into a couple of those clips here on the Shambay South Park the room. So here's Butters as he first starts by burning all of his imaginary stuff because he's like, fuck this. If everyone thinks I'm crazy, then I'm just going to stop using my imagination in front of people, right?
No more Professor Chaos and no more...
Here comes Dr. Janice on a bike. He rides his tricycle, chases Butters. Then he jumps off the trike.
Butters, please! It's me, Billy! You gotta help! Please, Butters, I tried to tell old Dr. Janice that we're in danger, but Dr. Janice doesn't realize there's a problem.
Or Billy.
The mean man that lives in our
This has got to be like Dr. Janice's inner child, probably. Billy? Yeah.
head is trying to take over for good.
Excuse me?
No! Don't call out for help. He's got a gun.
What?
If you draw any attention, he'll kill us.
Please, Billy, I'm just a kid, too. I can't help you.
No, you can't. But you know somebody who can. Inspector Butters.
What?
You've got to become Inspector Butters again and help me find out what the mean man wants.
No! You told me not to play Inspector Butters.
You don't understand. For some reason, the mean man is getting stronger.
Oh, he didn't destroy.
You have to help me find out how to stop him.
He's all messed up in the head,
Professor
man.
Chaos is helm.
He's all messed up in the head.
Poor Butters.
Poor Butters.
He doesn't deserve this.
He does not. So here's the Tower of Peace now.
Picture together on top of the Tower of Peace. I'm up there waiting for you now. Please, come meet me on top of the Tower of Peace. It will be really nice. Yes. And
He
when
writes
you
this-
get to the top of that tower, you're going to get a surprise, Japanese. Oh, sorry.
Simpsons did it.
Anyway, see you on top of tower.
So he actually goes against his judgment. He goes to the Tower of Peace. Okay, so now with Inspector Butters helping Dr. Janice.
Dr. Janice sure has a big house, doesn't he? He's planning on hurting people. I just know it.
It's okay, Billy. We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
This is kind of fun. You're Inspector Butters, and I'm your faithful assistant, Dr. Watson.
Well, all right, Watson. Well, let's find out what we need to and get out of here.
Yeah.
Butters, what are you doing in my house?
Huh?
Oh, dear. It's okay, Butters. You just think you're Inspector Butters right now.
Oh, man.
Come on, let's get you home.
Where are you going, Butters?
Oh, come on.
You aren't leaving here, Inspector. None of
He
you
pulls his
are.
hair off.
Oh my gosh. So he's bald
Butters,
this
come on,
whole
try
time.
and come back to us.
You can't run forever.
Excuse me, did someone order a pizza? Yes, that was me, but I'm a little busy at the moment. I'll be right back.
You'll never turn me in, Inspector Butters. You're dead.
And then this
Somebody
is
order a pizza?
and then this is where Butters, as he runs in here, he finds out that he's Mr. Luke Kim. And he opens this closet door and he finds the whole thing about City Sushi. Kill, die.
Oh my gosh.
They want to take over my City Wok. Holy crap, what time is it? Oh, no, I'm ready.
Oh no, what? Butters now standing shocked. Like, what the
Right,
fuck
I
is
would
going
just
on?
be. I don't even think I would have words.
Right? Okay, so now Mr.
Like
Luke
nothing.
Kim, as we mentioned, is going to go back to the Tower of Peace, and the whole thing is going to break down from here.
What took you so long?
Lights a cigarette.
Yes, I'm afraid my Tower of Peace was a little bit of trickery, Mr. Japanese dog. I'm going to put an end to you, and everyone's going to think it's just because you did what Japanese people love doing most. No, don't do it! Don't kill yourself, please!
Fuck you. I'm not trying to kill myself.
No, don't do it, please! So much info!
And of course, now the cops show up because Butters has notified the police.
This is South Park Police.
Police? How?
We know the truth, Dr. Janice.
It's the Chinese rat trying to kill me.
He's not Chinese. He's white.
What the fuck you talking about?
Your name is Dr. Janice.
You people crazy!
Listen to them, it's true.
Truth hurts, doesn't it, Janice?
Who are you people? Why are you all here? How could I let myself believe white man is Chinese? I have brought shame upon myself. Blah.
And he kills himself.
No, this is racial stereotype.
And by the way, that's why City Sushi is damaged in South Park, the Stick of Truth. Because Mr. Takayama jumped off the top of that Tower of Peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you can't go
Putting it
in.
together now.
Yeah, that's why you can't go in. That's why the Tower of Peace is there, taken over by the Mongol Ranch. In the game. Following this, we get to the end here as we get a conclusion. Basically, what happens is this. The cops and the town, they kind of all decide, look, now that the sushi place is gone, we only have one Asian food place again, and that's the Chinese food place. And Dr. Janice's most strongest character is Mr. Luke Kim. So they basically come to the solution that they're just going to let him go and just go back to being Mr. Luke Kim.
This is after, right?
What?
This is after he built the wall with the Mongolians.
Oh yeah,
right?
this is seasons after that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just making sure I'm not tripping.
Yeah, seasons after that. That was early couple of seasons. So yeah, so now we're gonna see the cops basically kind of let him off, And nothing happens to Butters, by the way. Nobody thinks Butters is sorry. Nobody apologizes to Butters.
Nothing.
So you're telling us that Dr. Janice has been the owner of City Wok all this time? That's right. Of all his multiple personalities, the strongest was Lou Kim. And we never would have known if it hadn't have been for Inspector Butters.
Inspector Butters. Okay, I guess the cops thanked him.
Thanks.
But his parents
I'm
didn't.
just glad the whole thing is over and done. Maybe now poor old Dr. Janice can finally get the help he needs.
Yes, Butters. Thanks to you, maybe Dr. Janice can get back to his real self. Yes, I'm sure he could.
But
Then again, does the world really need another therapist? What do you mean? Well, I mean, would it really be so bad for us to just let him go on thinking he's Lou Kim forever? Now that City Sushi is gone, City Wok is the only Chinese restaurant left in town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's just let him keep believing he's a Chinese man.
Done.
Good. All right.
Yeah, all right. Detective, he's asking for a blanket. Is that all right? Go ahead. We're going to process him and get him back to the restaurant.
now this point right here, I love this point right here. This part right here that South Park does is chef's kiss to a Hitchcock Psycho.
Thank you. Ooh, I hate the Japanese people. They trying to shut down my City Wok, but they never will. They're probably ratting me, the Japanese. Rat them. I'm not even gonna swat that fry. There, see? And now say, wow, that is City Wok owner. Why?
Wouldn't
he
even hurt a
harm
fly. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that episode wraps up with a nice little American Psycho parody right there at the end. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this recap. We'll be right back on the other side with more pop culture trivia and more information. We'll be right back.
Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed. You'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review.
And we're back now on the other side. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, provided by Spreaker. Visit linktr.ee/SouthParkPod for all of our landing pages at SouthParkPods with an S on Twitter, South Park Podcast on Instagram. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching this right here on YouTube. Of course, we once again always like to acknowledge our podcast listeners. That's where, of course, you, the listener, the bulk of you guys listen to the show, so we appreciate the hundreds of downloads we get from you. And if you want to just pass that over to our video viewership on YouTube, we'd appreciate that as well. But either way, we appreciate you downloading and listening to the podcast. So let's get into it. We are not, collectively, myself or Scoop, we are not the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 South Park Trivia Champion. We are not trivia gods. We are not doctors of thugonomics, punkonomics, polyphonics. He's probably a doctor of scooponomics. But I digress.
I'm the doctor of scooponomics.
I digress.
I'm the professor.
He's the professor. We are not trivia gods.
No.
We're going to do our best.
Do our fucking best.
Trivia it up, buddy.
Janus is a Roman god, generally depicted with two faces on front and back of his head, although he is considered the god of beginnings and endings. In this case, it is also a reference to Dr. Janus having multiple faces, quote-unquote personalities, if you will. Eric Cartman, Stan Marsh, Kenny McCormick, and Kyle Bravlowski have no speaking lines in this episode. Holy shit, that's right. They only appear once in the audience when Tung Loon Kim and Japanese Man are talking about Asian diversity. As Kenny did not appear in previous episode, also, this marks the second episode in a row where Kenny does not do or say anything this season. City Wok is not the only Chinese restaurant in South Park. There is also P.F. Chang's. Yeah, it was mostly P.F. Chang's.
That's
good
true.
Stuff.
That's true.
A running gag throughout the episode is that denizens of South Park are unaware of the difference between Chinese and Japanese people. They refer to City Sushi as a Chinese restaurant, but name the restaurant area Little Tokyo, which is Japanese. Dr. Janus has at least 8 split personalities, not including himself. The old man, Billy, the evil psychotic one, the con artist, sexy one, the pizza man, the one who sings, and Luke Kim. This is the second episode to air in June. Since the 2002 episode, The Simpsons already did it.
Yep.
Kim mentions that Japan has the highest suicide rate. Although Japan's suicide rate rose considerably due to the Asian economic crisis of 1997 and 1998, it was ranked the 65th highest in 1990 and 30th highest in 2019, according to our world data, well below the highest suicide rate. The country with the highest suicide rate is actually Greenland.
Interesting. Well, it is pretty cold there.
It is interesting. Yeah. Nothing out there, I suppose. I don't know. At the Asian Diversity event, City Sushi has a sign outside showing their lunch specials, consisting of beef teriyaki, chicken teriyaki, shrimp stir fry, tempura udon, and orange chicken, all with a soda for $4.99. $5.99 for chicken teriyaki.
Jesus, man. Things were so much cheaper then, even 2011. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your trivia. I am not a man who likes to bring the pain in the digital marketing game. I do not solicit your picks to get those clicks. I am not Dane Bubba Becker, but I am going to deliver up some pop culture. Butters references a line from the song Convoy by C.W. McCall while playing Big Rig Butters. When Butters films himself, it is a parody of Paranormal Activity. Proven when Butters says this is like paranormal. The arrest of Dr. Janus references, as I mentioned, the final scene of Hitchcock's movie Psycho, with him saying he would not even harm a fly. When Dr. Janus is riding a tricycle, frightening Butters and calling himself Billy, this is a reference to the Saw movies. Oh, okay. As I mentioned, we had to mute the copyright there, LMFAO's Party Rock Anthem, as well as the video parody during the intro of the Asian Diversity Awareness School Assembly with Mr. Takayama and Mr. Kim. In the scene Mr. Kim. In the scene where Dr. Janus says he's been scamming the town for 7 years, his computer logo says Bell. This could be a reference to the real-life computer company Dell, as well as we mentioned this from the previous episode, TMI. Dr. Janus' personality jumping meltdown, complete with the removal of a hairpiece, is likely a reference to the film The Stepfather, where actor Terry O'Quinn played a man who swapped identities frequently and eventually, involuntarily, sometimes removing his hairpiece to distinguish himself. When Dr. Janus stated the MPD is not real, this refers to a dispute amongst psychiatrists. Some people believe the MPD does not exist, and other people believe it is only caused by therapy for other disorders. Basically, some therapists believe that multiple personality disorders exist. Others believed it is only caused by therapy for other disorders itself. When Dr. Janus has his first meltdown, he finishes by saying the horned toad says we should go to Mexico. This is a direct quote from the Lone Wati, a Native American character in the 1976 Clint Eastwood film The Outlaw Josie Wales. The portrait of the wall of the staircase during the chase scene is a self-portrait by John Everett Milas. One of Dr. Janus's personalities sings part of the jingle for Big Red Chewing Gum to Butters. And finally, Dr. Janus mentions to the rape of Nanking while bad-mouthing Junichi, one of the worst atrocities of World War II and a point of friction between China and Japan. And that is your pop culture. All right, let's get into some continuity here. Couple things. Butters previously underwent a psychiatric evaluation in the death of Eric Cartman when his parents thought he was hallucinating and seeing a ghost. He was given a big giant thing in the booty. The Stotches immediately dismissed their son's troublemaking as not because of their parenting, claiming they're awesome, once again playing on the fact that they are completely oblivious to how cold and harsh they treat him. Butters is blamed entirely and grounded for something he had little involvement to do, that being the Asian turf war. Last time we saw Inspector Butters was in Butters' very own episode, which was from season 5. City Sushi owner Junichi Takayama was first seen as the front end of the human centipede. Actually, that's an interesting. Human centipede Takayasha states.
Oh, shit.
In that episode, though, he stated he could not read English. However, in this episode, he reads a letter from Mr. Liu Kim. It's possible that he may have learned how to read English since the events of that episode. He learned how to read. Why won't it read?
Why won't it read?
Following the initial fight between Takayama and Kim, a sign can later be seen inside City Sushi reading, "Management reserves the right to refuse service to Chinese." The sign was not seen before the initial fight. Last three things here. When Butters is running up the stairs of Dr. Janice's house, Dr. Janice says, "You can't run forever." That is, of course, a line said by Billy Thompson in the episode Inception, which was directed toward Mr. Mackey at the time. And, of course, one of Janice's personalities is called Billy. Bradley Biggle makes a return. He actually can be seen in the crowd at the assembly, implying that he has returned since his last appearance from Coon versus Coon and Friends. And finally,
fucking Bradley Biggle.
Fucking Bradley Biggle. And finally, while burning his play clothes, Butters is stopped before destroying his Professor Chaos costume due to Janice's interruption. Professor Chaos would return in season 16 episode Butter Balls.
I was going to say, I wanted to bring that up, but I got distracted because I just watched that episode. I was like, he stopped right at Professor Chaos, and it's just like he's back in season 16, and I was just like, that's great.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's your full recap, your trivia, your pop culture. Scoop?
Damn it.
What did you like about this episode?
This episode's a pretty big banger, in my opinion. There's not a whole lot that I didn't like about it. Maybe a little questionable on the boys not actually being a part of it, but then again, how would you actually have them be a part of this episode without taking it away from being about Butters and Dr. Janice and this whole Inspector Butters fiasco, which is just, that's my favorite part about the episode, is where he is constantly being turned into Inspector Butters just to have Dr. Janice come out in the middle of it. It's great.
He's made to be a martyr at the beginning of the episode, or I'm sorry, he's made to be the antagonist. The cops blame him for the turf war. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then Dr. Janice falsely identifies him as someone with multiple personality disorder. Then he's taken hostage by Dr. Janice multiple times, I might add. And then finally, Butters is the one that discovers that he's the one that's Mr. Kim's. And then all in all, Butters saves the day. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's crazy.
Takes it, wins the day.
I mean, from a top episode, though, I'd say this is in my lower 200. Like, the important thing you find out from this episode is that Mr. Kim, his backstory, he's actually someone who's white named Dr. Janice, who's got multiple personality disorder. But other than this episode, like, when you look back at it, there's nothing really to look back on. This is kind of a throwaway episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. I can see that, definitely.
There's nothing that really comes from it. You know what I mean? It's just kind of a standalone Butters episode, and we find out that Mr. Liu Kim is actually white.
Yeah. Pretty throwaway.
I mean, and as we were watching,
nothing significant happens in the episode to change anything down the road, other than where Butters is burning everything and stops at Professor Chaos because he comes back in season 16.
And even from a comedy perspective, like when you're watching it, yeah, it's funny, but there's not something that's like making you die of laughter. You know what I mean? Like you're like, right. Oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? Like
a good chuckle.
Like I know me and you didn't really laugh when we initially watched Royal Pudding, but when I went and watched it again with Joe, I laughed a lot this time because, you know, I was able to kind of like stop and look at the scenes individually. And at that point, when you isolate Mr. Mackey freaking out on the kids, it's fucking hysterical, right? So like that had some funny moments in it. But like in this episode, there wasn't really like a lot of like, you know, side splitting, hurting my stomach funny moments. Right. So I would say it's in my bottom 200 personally. So
I get, I mean, it's in my top 150. Okay. Like, I'm not going to put it.
That's fair.
You know, like 150 something.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of SMB.
SMB, baby.
South Park Review. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching right here on YouTube, or like, subscribe, share, heart, follow, whatever your platform of podcast choice allows you to do. Pick it up, share it, let your friends and family know. Do us a favor if you could hit that YouTube, hit the like and subscribe, watch some of the videos there. We upload all the podcasts there too as well. They're sometimes they can be a couple days late, but I'm just saying, you might want to get to those videos now, because in the future, those videos might become exclusive behind a paywall. We will never charge you to listen to this podcast. The podcast will always be free. But we've been doing this podcast now for 4 years. And it's getting to a point where we'd like to make a little bit of revenue for all the hard work we put in and the hours and hours we've done this. So when we are getting ready here in the future on launching a subscription service that will be tied to a Discord as well through our South Park fan club on Facebook. So if you'd like more information to stay up to date, the most accurate way to stay up to date would just be join the Facebook group, South Park Fan Club on Facebook, the largest South Park fan club group, the largest South Park fan group on Facebook in the world. So go ahead and check that out. And you'll stay all up to date.
No.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next week is actually probably one of my top 10 episodes of South Park. It's called You're Getting Old. And in this episode, Stan...
everything just sounds like shit.
Stan turns 10 years old. And the reason why I like this episode is because I think it relates to us as an adult. As adults. As we get older, we do start to see and hear things differently. And the world around us starts to turn and look like shit. What's going on with Stan?
No, you're thinking of Stevie Nicks. This is Steamy Nicks.
Meanwhile, Randy is having a midlife crisis and just can't stop from shitting his britches. It's coming up next week on another edition of SMB, a South Park Review. No, you're thinking of Steamy Ray Vaughan. That's Steamy Ray Vaughan. She just shits your britches.
She just up there and shits his britches.
He just gets up there and shits his britches.
It's either now or never. We gotta